What's poppin', what's tea? It's your girl, Spicy Niche, and you already know why I'm here today. I'm super excited. Skinny Girl in Transit is back. They had us waiting like, what, 3 or is it 4 years for this? So let's get straight into it. So we open with this beautiful naming ceremony for Tiwa and Mide's new baby. So there's not really much going on, just pretty much that Tiwa and Mide made a bet about Wooly coming. And just as the Reverend is wrapping up the naming ceremony, Wooly shows up. So that's pretty much it there. Mohammed then shows up looking for Shalewa, and Shalewa hides. Now, being that it's been so long, it's been mad long, I would have appreciated a recap, just because like I really, as much as I would love to, don't have time to go back and watch Skinny Girl in Transit. Like, there's so much coming out. Like, even today I opened my Instagram and I find out there's this new film called Cake on Prime Video. Like, I just don't have the time with how many videos and movies that they've been pushing out on Prime and Netflix to just go watch Skinny Girl in Transit. So I would have appreciated them giving us a recap, especially since it's been so many years. Just because there were a lot of things that I did forget and I'm like picking up on. For example, Shalewa goes to therapy and talks about how she really has PTSD from Kwame. And when she first mentioned that, I'm like, I remember her being in an abusive relationship, but I don't even remember what this man looks like. Until it was when she was in the supermarket further into the first episode that they show a flashback. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's Kwame. But basically, Shalewa does go to therapy, and in which she expresses that she has like really bad anxiety around men. She used to bask in the glory of them admiring her, and now she's like, she don't even want them to look at her. So the therapist just pretty much encourages her, and Muhammad just persistently keeps reaching out to her, showed up to the naming ceremony, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So then we go back to the naming ceremony, in which Auntie Dupe seems like she's having a boyfriend who, has a daughter, and she has a son. I honestly completely forgot that she had adopted and had a son. But I'm kind of wondering where this new character kind of came from, because I don't recall her dating in the last season. But I mean, it is fine, but I kind of wanted like a little bit of storyline, or is this how they just decided to introduce him? Like, okay, this is who she's dating. Either way, I mean, nonetheless, I think it'll be cute to kind of see in the further episodes how this kind of progresses between her and this new guy who is her partner. So then we go on to see Tiwa and Mide after the naming ceremony, happily in love, always having us women asking ourselves, God, when? God, when will you do it for me? When will you send me my own Mide? God, when? God, when? So he is thanking her for having his baby and showering her with not $1 bill stacks. Oh, this is for having the baby. This is for doing this. This is for doing that. This is for doing that. Hey! Wow. God, when? God, when? And it's really nice to see both of them together again, because I did watch Abimbala Craig's vlog of when she went to, I think it's Houston that he lives in, to visit him and his wife, and I thought that was really cute, a cute thing. So yeah, it was very nice to see them on screen again together, and it's nice to know that they have continued their friendship. After he's finished showering her with all these gifts, she then gives him a Rolex. She's like, my money may not be up to yours, but I did get you something nice. So that's when we go into the scene that I previously mentioned, where Shalewa is in the store, somebody bumps into her, and it gives her PTSD from Kwame. Then we see the flashback of that relationship, and she just like completely runs out of the store. But I'm really glad that she's getting therapy for these issues, because I know how traumatic that can really be. Then we move on to Mommy Tiwa doing influencing things. She's doing YouTube. I don't know how we got here from the last episode. From the last season. I can't remember how she started getting into YouTube, but somebody remind me in the comments. But we're here. She's doing a YouTube video. Wooly is helping her set up, and that's when Shalewa comes in, and she confronts Shalewa as to why she has been acting so strange lately. She doesn't want to eat. She doesn't want to follow her to the market. And Shalewa lets her mom know that all is well. She is fine. Meanwhile, she really isn't. Mommy Tiwa does get this influencing deal to sell waist trainers and bleaching cream, and Auntie Dupe and Shalewa are like, you cannot do it. And she's like, I would do it. 5 million is a lot of money. And I get it, but I still feel like this scene is another scene that I feel like is fluff. It's fluff. They dragged it in order to try and give us a story. So again, as stated, Mohammed keeps stalking Shalewa, keeps texting, keeps calling, keeps texting, keeps calling. Why can't I talk today? Keeps texting, keeps calling. You can see how excited I am for this today because I can't even flipping talk. But yes, he keeps calling and texting Shalewa, asking to meet up. He asked her to meet him for dinner, and then he's waiting in this restaurant until the restaurant finally closes, and she never does show up for this dinner. Now, Timini, I feel like I was kind of introduced to Timini in this skinny girl role where he's playing this innocent guy, and but seeing Timini on his YouTube and just on Instagram is like, I can't believe this anymore. I can't believe this good boy aesthetic anymore. Timini now for me fits bad boy roles. That's just his thing. Cause that's I don't know. Is it just me? That's just what he exudes in his Instagram, his YouTube. I just see him as a bad boy. And not in a bad way though. Not in a bad way, but I really do feel like bad boy roles fit him. But now this innocence, woe is me. I cannot believe it anymore. I cannot believe it anymore. Let me know if you guys have that same sentiment. Actually, one of my friends said to me that it's really hard for her to watch Timini in film and movie these days because it's he has shown so much of his personal life that for her it's hard to separate the personal from film now. The two things have kind of blurred the lines there. But as for me, my personal opinion is that I just see Timini in bad boy roles, that this role is no longer believable for me. My personal opinion, don't beat me up in the comments. But moving on. So I will say in this first episode, we did a lot of fast forwarding. We fast forwarded 1 week, and then we fast forwarded 5 weeks. And this fast forward 5 weeks, Tiwa and Mide are, changing the baby's diaper, in which Tiwa lets Mide know that, it's been 6 weeks, so now they can do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? So, because of that, Mide is distracted all day at work. He cannot wait to get home and knack. It's been 6 weeks. He's been waiting. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And then we see Shalewa get a text from her friend Tito saying code purple. And she's like, oh my gosh, where are you? Where, when, how, what's the location? So she goes, and I think we already knew Muhammad was going to be there. So she goes to this restaurant to look for a Tito, and then she ends up seeing Muhammad, and Muhammad ends up proposing. And that's how we close the episode. That's what did he do? That's what did he do? That's my only thing with this is so you haven't seen your ex in, I don't even know, 6 weeks in this episode, but I'm sure it's been longer than that overall. And you keep reaching out to her, and she's not answering you. You go through her friends to get her to show up, and you propose. Is that how they used to do things? Somebody has not been speaking to you for 6+ weeks. She's been ignoring you. She doesn't want to speak to you. She doesn't even want to see you. She hid when you showed up to the baby's naming ceremony. You went through her friend to get her to show up. And now you just propose? Expecting her to say what exactly? Like, let's just be so for real. You know? Let's just be so for real. Yeah. So I mean that's pretty much all I have to say. Honestly, I don't know how you guys felt about the first episode, but I feel like they could have came a little bit harder. Honestly, I feel like everything was just like, okay. Like everything just felt kind of like drawn out and unnecessarily drawn out. For example, the scenes where Mide was in the office waiting to get home to tea. Like, I feel like that whole scenario was drawn out. I feel like even the scene with him changing the baby's diaper, like that was just drawn out. Like, and I'm hoping the next few episodes are not like this, because I feel like they're just drawing stuff out to kind of give us a 30-minute episode. Like, but there's no real like concrete storylines here. The only concrete storyline here was Shalewa and how she has PTSD from Kwame and Mohammed. Like, that was the only concrete storyline in this episode. Everything else was just unnecessary fluff. Like, let's just be so honest. And I'm just hoping that, you know, this is just how the first episode is, and in the further episodes it will not be like this, because I just feel like we waited so long for them to just give us this. Like, I'm not really satisfied. If I was to rate this episode out of 10, I would give this episode like a 6.5 out of 10. I can even stretch it and say 7 out of 10, but like it's still on average giving me like 6.5, 7 out of 10. Like, it wasn't what I expected for the first episode. Like, I really do feel like they just dragged like a lot of things out for no reason. Even the whole naming ceremony was unnecessarily drawn out. Like, they didn't have anything to give us. Let's just be so honest. I mean, but that's just my personal opinion, guys. That's just my personal opinion on this episode. I'm really, really happy to see all these people back on screen. I couldn't even get my words out because of how excited I was. But this first episode did not excite me. It didn't excite me. It didn't give what it needed to give. Like, we waited so long for this. I don't know how else I can put it. But that's my personal opinion. You guys let me know what you guys thought in the comments. But yeah, I hope this is not how the season is gonna be, just drawing things out just for the sake of drawing things out to give us something. Nah, that's not good enough for me. But you guys, as I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like and share this video. And I will see you next week for Skinny Girl in Transit, episode 2.